Welcome to 6G Agenda, Patreon episode. This first half will be free, of course, but this is a Patreon episode, and we're going to have an awesome deep dive on the occult theocracy. I'm your host, Andrew. I'm here again with my man, Justin Ward. He's back on the course.
Yo.
And my audio, if you can't tell, the audio sounded crisp. Welcome back, Justin.
Yeah, I'm back. Should be much better now, your audio.
Dude, what the hell?
Should be hearing any like ringing in the background or anything like that now.
Yeah, it's my StreamYard. Settings got messed up. I guess I got to check that periodically. But always something simple. Welcome everybody. We've had some new people. Welcome in. And to everybody that's hanging with us, as always, welcome back. We dropped the Patreon down by half. So, we don't put that much, the output isn't where we want it. So right now I figured let's just drop it by half, and we'll just, thanks for supporting us. If you value the show, keep it up. And if you aren't on there yet, go ahead and check out the links below on Spotify and YouTube, and we'll and Apple, and go ahead and go check it out. We got a nice catalog on Patreon.
Dropped it down to what, $3? Basically free.
Basically free. And so basically everybody go support us, go help us out, because we don't do ads. And you know what? We don't do ads for a reason. We're not turning this into like some kind of brand that we're selling other people's shit all the time like every other podcast does. If you appreciate that, what could help us is go donate, go hit up the Patreon, because we're trying to not do that. We may do a couple sponsors here and there of things we agree with, but that's about it.
Like which one?
Speaking of sponsors, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver, baby, if you want to get your assets secured, because the dollar is dying. And bankers and countries are investing in gold and resources like that more than they are digital currency. And I don't know about you, but if Larry Fink says everything needs to be digitized and turned into tokenization, bullshit, I'm going the other way.
Yeah.
Precious metals. So as little as $50 a month, you can hit up Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. We've got a link below. And you can use the code 6G as well and go ahead and get yourself a little gold sent to your house.
Oh, yeah.
You could secure your 401k. You could roll over that Bitcoin, get the fuck out of that digital currency, and get yourself into some real shit.
Word.
So yeah, hit our friends up over there. Happy to be working with them. All right. Well, that's about it, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the occult theocracy. Justin, I've talked a lot about this Christian nationalist movement. And I'm starting to see it clearly now.
Okay.
If you go back to the Operation Cyclone that we talked about in Afghanistan, with the CIA going and propping up the radical Islamists, and then that actually led to more radical Christianity with the 9/11 shit, because it was full-on Christian versus Muslim almost at that point.
Right.
And so now we see a resurgence of that, and I think that we're also seeing the culmination of this occult theocracy that really is the point of it. And I think that Catholicism will spearhead this new Babylonian religion into a one-world kind of government, spirituality, all mixed into one.
Yeah.
And people like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, these are people that I think are going to lead the way, along with like Tucker Carlson. They're saying everything we want to hear as far as 9/11 was an inside job. Israel controls our country. But yet they seem to be, I feel like at the same time, working towards the same goal.
Yeah.
And so we're going to uncover all that. And it's funny because Tex Mars, I've mentioned him a few times. We haven't broken down Dark Majesty yet, but we will be doing that. But he talks a lot about this occult theocracy. And yeah, he was a pastor. RIP. He died right whenever COVID started.
Yeah.
But he found this book that Bill Cooper also found as well. I've heard him quote this book as well, but it's called Occult Theocracy. I didn't even know it was a book whenever I heard him talk about the theory. So let me go ahead and look it up. Here's the lady who wrote it. Let's go ahead and look at her first. Edith Starr Miller. Fuck yeah, 3 names. That's awesome. And the middle one's Starr. She might have been a new agey type of lady.
Oh,
if you look into this, though, this book, it instantly tries to discredit it and say it's an anti-Semitic document.
Yeah, that's what the Google AI says.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and let's pull yours up because I believe that you actually had something. Well, let's look at what you had ready first, actually. So, Occult Theocracy by Edith Starr Miller is a controversial, posthumously published 1933 book. It's alleging a vast, centuries long conspiracy by secret societies like Freemasons, Illuminati, and Knights Templar, and certain groups, including Jews, in her view. I like how they add that.
Yeah,
Mine too. No, I'm just kidding.
they just make sure
To
to throw that
subvert,
in there. They're like, it's hers.
yeah, to subvert Christian civilization and establish a hidden occult global rule. That's exactly what we're getting into. Subverting Christian civilization and establishing a hidden occult global rule by mixing all of the religions together and saying, well, God is, it's all the same.
Yeah.
And, the Pope, you remember the Pope, I think I brought this up yesterday, but I think it's worth bringing up again.
Here's where it says it's where it was talking about it being anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
The
go ahead and let's pull it.
controversy.
Yeah.
The work is infamous for its anti-Semitic elements, including blaming Jewish conspiracies for world events and endorsing the anti-Semitic forgery, the protocols of the Elders of Zion, and praising the Ku Klux Klan. God damn.
Mm. Well, she doesn't embrace the Ku Klux Klan at all. So that's a really wild statement. Actually, as a matter of fact, we're going
Quite
to
the
discredit
claim
that
here.
by going. Yeah, we will go to the spot where I believe it talks about the KKK. I'm almost positive she said it was created by Freemasons. And if
Mm,
she's sitting here saying that they're creating this subversion to Christianity, I'm pretty sure that KKK is involved with that.
yeah.
Uh, Pope Francis robe. I'm trying to find this robe. I brought it up the other day.
Mm. Got a cool robe.
Uh, yeah, because the Pope had it on. Here we go. Fuck yeah, I found it. Okay.
Let's see this sick
All
robe.
right. Let's see the fucking sick robe, dude. It's pretty sick, dude. All right. So the Pope right here, as you can see, he's got this alien on his robe.
Oh yeah, we've seen this before.
Yes. We went over this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got the Crusader cross, the Knights Templar cross, whatever you want to call it. And then we also have it showing that there's a place in South America that has been drawn. And they say
Yeah.
it's from aliens. If it's from aliens, it's really the fallen angels. We went over that. But either way, this
Dude,
Pope,
that motherfucker's
go
got
ahead.
whiskers.
Yeah. Well, notice that also it's on an emerald green part of his robe, which is Osiris.
Right.
That's like a Osirian color. So I think that's pretty telling as well.
We
Nobody's
l-
really pointed.
we looked at this pretty early on in the show, didn't we?
But look, yeah, and look at this.
What the fuck?
You see? And he said he would baptize an alien if it came.
Is there motherfuckers getting at him for cultural appropriation for wearing that
No,
shit?
because he's accepting. That's the idea.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can find the quote where he said if aliens came, he would baptize one. Would baptize aliens if they exist.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the culmination of that kind of shit that we're talking about, where the the church, the Catholic Church seems to be the biggest when it comes to this. I want to say that they just opened up a new like meditation room for like Hindus.
What the
Let
fuck?
me see. Let me see. Hindu, Vatican.
I like how that like article, like whatever headline, like linkage. Pope's astronomer. I would baptize an alien.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, look at this as well. The Vatican Apostolic Library has opened a dedicated prayer room for Muslim scholars.
Oh wow.
See what I mean? So again, with this now in the Bible, I could show you where literally in Ezekiel, God says to Ezekiel, the reason why he's got to go and do these awful things to this group is because like he shows him a bunch of reasons. And one of them is he's like, look at them. Their back is to my temple, to my church,
Mm.
and they're bowing to the sun as it rises and falls. And so that is Muslim. So it's so crazy to me that you see, I don't know, like the blatant disregard
Yeah.
for the word of God if you're the Catholic Church, which just, just goes into what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a little bit of notes here from stuff that Tex Mars was talking about.
All right.
He mentions three pillars that the CFR, whenever they created this religious roundtable I've spoken about, that they had three pillars that they wanted to take control of with people: government, politics, economics, and money, religion, and the false light of unity and diversity. So it's where you embrace diversity and that we're different. And it's okay. We're gonna, everybody's God's the same God. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. All who don't join will be crushed, making life unbearable for them as far as just hard to live because you can't buy, sell, trade,
They'll be
etc.
crushed.
They'll be crushed, dude.
Oh shit.
And it could be worse than just not buying, selling, or trading. So politics and religion don't mix. Only converts uh, religion into state, policy, gospel, and into merchandise. This is somebody that's one of our founding fathers who were like, yo, that shit don't work.
Yeah.
But here, we'll go past this here. The CFR goal is to submerge American sovereignty into an all-powerful one world government, establish a religious roundtable to make a global spirituality. And when they did this, they chose Henry Kissinger to lead the roundtable. And he worked with the Pope. He was the Pope's like liaison with the world.
Right.
The war hawk, Henry Kissinger.
A war hawk, dude.
And so you have like Christian presidents like Reagan, right? Who, quote unquote Christian, who says that with George Bush, as we approach the new millennium, we'll have a nation confidently willing to take its leadership into the uncharted reaches of a new age. And then you have George Bush. What did he say? A new order of the world, new world order, just like Hitler. And
Mm.
he was skull and bones, just like his dad who funded the fucking Nazis. So we have this full circle.
Damn.
And then in the Dark Majesty book, and here he talks about Hitler being a fucking, what did he call him? He called him some kind of knight for the Vatican,
Some
which I
sort
thought
of
was,
knight. Like
yeah, it was some kind. He believed he was some kind of knight
like
for the
armor
Vatican.
wearing knight.
Not literally, but yeah, I guess it would be figurative knight. Kind of out there like the Jesuits. Like he looked at himself as like a Jesuit knight that was out there kind of cleansing the world of dark, unclean spirits and people.
Dude, the Dark Knight.
Facts, bro.
Dude,
Exactly.
the OG Batman.
And who's in the Dark Knight, dude? Fucking none other than Loki or the trickster god, fucking
Hmm?
Lucifer the clown, right? The Joker, dude.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the Joker, bro.
Okay,
He's
yeah, yeah.
I very much came to the idea that like the Joker 100% just represents like the trickster, Loki,
For
Lucifer,
sure.
like that same motherfucker. It's
Could see
crazy.
it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into this cult theocracy theory here.
Alright.
Maybe I should start off actually take you off of here. You don't need to see my notes. It's confidential. Maybe I'll make a Substack sometime. Motherfuckers, put my notes on Substack.
People get peep at what you're leaving at, dude. They're at the show.
Yeah, dude, I'll flesh them out and make them nice.
Yeah, I was
Make them
gonna
like an
say,
actual
dude.
make them like an actual story.
Do they
Not so
actually
schizo.
want to look at your notes?
I know people would be like, "Oh my god!" Every time I read his Substack, it feels like I'm entering into a fucking padded room. Um, so the occult theocracy. So this is an exercise of government rule over the masses by a hierarchy of priests and or adepts.
Hmm.
That's the plan. Theocracy is a mingling of various deities or divine attributes into one godly personality. Also, it could be considered a mixture of the worship of different deities merged together as one. So in AA, if you're familiar, I know some people are sober or whatever you want to call it that listen to this or whatever. So I'm sure you've maybe seen an AA room at least once in your life.
Damn, dude.
And they say, what do they say? They say have choose a higher power of your choosing.
Hmm.
And so that is kind of what we're talking about here. It's this idea that doesn't matter what God it is, just pick whatever higher power, it doesn't matter.
Not gonna lie to you, when you said AA, my brain went to anti-air.
I didn't even know that that was an acronym for anti-air. I
Dude,
mean, at that rate, you could say, like,
like an
autonomous
anti-air
you could
gun.
say I could have been like, I thought there was autonomous ant. You know what I mean? Like, you could
Autonomous
just put 2
ant.
A words together and be like,
Ah, dude, you never heard like AA gun, dude? Anti-air gun?
okay, my
Yeah,
fault.
yeah,
I thought you were just,
that's
like,
just
taking a
where
couple
exactly
words.
where my fucking brain went.
I'm with you.
No, my
Autonomous
brain
ant,
went directly
that's
to
great.
autonomous ant.
Yeah, that's a wild place to get dude, that's
And that's crazy
welcome to
that you
my
just thought of that. Just
yeah, dude.
alright.
Welcome to my brain, dude.
Fuck, dude. All right.
That's
The
awesome.
Alcohol Anonymous, though. That's what it was.
Yeah, AA, dude. Higher power you're choosing, you know? And this kind of just merging together the idea of like any deity, it doesn't matter, whatever. Anyway, so there's a book called The Cult Theocracy we kind of talked about that Queen Lady, or I call her Queen, Lady Queenborough, a socialite who I guess we should get into who she's related to.
Yeah.
She's related to like very high up politicians. Do you want to bring it up? Harvard people. I think you had it up first, didn't you?
I just had her Wikipedia up. It was talking about her grandparents and shit.
Okay, here. I'll pull it. I think I still have that up. Yeah, so
Yep.
because it tries to discredit her, and act like this lady doesn't know what she's talking about. But then you look into it and you're like, well, she's a part of like people who would know. I mean,
Mm,
her husband was a treasurer for the League of Nations, which is like the UN
yeah.
whenever that got created. Um, Brother of her there's a lot of this weird shit. Brother of her father's namesake. What the fuck does that
Yeah,
mean?
like it's all kind of fucking word nonsense.
Miller and George Norton Miller, brother of her father's namesake. U.S. Representative William S. Miller. It's like, dude,
If you don't read it in that accent, it doesn't make sense.
no, exactly. It actually now makes sense
Yeah, it makes sense.
now
A
that I've
lot of
done that.
sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so so Blakeney, who's Blakeney? Hold on, let's find this out. Edith and her husband were allegedly pro-fascist. Whoa, whoa, that's fucked up.
All right.
And we're gonna break it down. Is it? Maybe it's true. I don't know. And Edith in particular, it doesn't mean she's wrong about this idea of bringing all this together, this cult theocracy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she wanted it to happen. I don't
It
know.
it does say allegedly.
Maybe she wanted it to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe the people who want this to be created are super anti-Jewish. That could be real. Like that could be a real thing.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
But also,
Blakeney though, that's a crazy fucking name. Blakeney.
yeah, Blakeney. Yeah.
Blakeney. Right.
Blakeney was the second president of the British Fascisti, which is like the fascists.
Yeah, the British
Yeah,
fascists.
awesome.
Sick.
And was later active. Oh, she was friendly with this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if anybody we know is related to this guy. Who's this guy related to? Anybody we may know? After a career with the Royal Engineers.
Um, the second lieutenant, yeah, you served in the Dongala experiment.
What the fuck? I feel like I've heard of that.
Scroll up just a touch.
The Dongala.
Right there. Dongala
Dongala expedition.
expedition
Okay. Anyway,
under
yeah,
Herbert
so who
Kitchener.
knows, dude? I'm just curious because I'm like, all right, well, how deep does this go? Like who's doing this shit now
Yeah.
that's involved with people then? That's what I'm curious about. But anyway, all right, maybe she's anti-fascist. Let's find that out.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of crazy though because after reading some of this, I don't really get that from her. But
I don't know.
all right,
Search.
she spent about 10 years. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say search if it says fascism or some shit in there.
Dude, yeah, I will actually. That's a great idea. So she searched for 10 years learning about secret societies and created this book. And I think that there's something to be said about that, whether she's fascist or not.
Yeah.
And all this discreditation and all these people trying to fucking discredit her make me think that they're fucking full of shit almost because look at all this.
The
She literally has a
fascisti,
chapter that says the fascists. So we're going to find out what she thinks about them right now.
page 619,
Fuck yeah, it is. I went a little low.
a little bit.
All right. So while this is scrolling, I got about 40 pages. No, I'm just kidding here. That'd be funny as fuck. All right. Oh, okay.
619.
All
Hold on.
right.
Oh, we're in pictures of different books now. That's cool. There it was. You scrolled past
No,
it.
no, I didn't. Here we go.
Oh, I'm looking at the top. There it is.
The fascisti. From
Yeah.
their activities, one may assume the fascists to be descendants of the Calderari. Okay. After the European War, 1914, certain banks, conscious of the menace of Satanism, ultimately re-Christianed Bolshevism, fearing that the monster might get out of hand, selected certain men whose integrity, patriotism, and bravery they trusted, and by paying them a stipend, kept them as a nucleus ready when the signal was given to rally to a leader. Okay. The fascists marched on Rome at a meeting convoked. Okay, dude. The fascists also put an end to the activities of the terrorist society known as the Mafia in 1928. Okay, so this is weird. She does seem like she's kind of hold on here. Italy's exiled Freemasons. She's saying that the fascists got rid of the Freemasons.
That's weird, dude.
Oh.
The
Oh.
Calderari shit was a informal network of secret revolutionary societies active in Italy.
Oh, she's saying that it's not a part of the secret societies.
She's saying
And
it's
then in fact, it actually got rid of the secret societies like Freemasonry. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll be damned. So she's arguing that the fascists are actually on our side, which makes sense why people are like, well, Hitler's right.
hmm,
Hmm. Hmm. All right. Well, anyway, let's
interesting.
get on. What? What else does it say?
No, I was just saying this whole fucking thing is interesting.
Oh, it's gonna be good shit, dude. We just got into it. All right, so I'll leave this right there, and I'm gonna just share this. How about that? While I look at my notes here, I'll fucking
Yeah.
go share that.
This whole
There we go.
Calderari shit. History. The Masonic Association of the Carbonari was introduced from France during the Parthe- Parthenopean
Mhm.
Parthenopean Republic and gradually
Mm.
assumed character of a revolutionary secret
It's
society.
just an Italian. It's an
Yeah.
Italian. I don't think it's like an Italian Nazi movement almost. Really, it's the Mussolini kind of movement.
But it says the Calderari swore to defend the church and vowed eternal hatred to Freemasons and
Mm.
Carbonari.
I
Interesting.
see.
Interesting.
Man, this is weird. So it's weird because it's almost like no matter which way you go, you got people that are vying for power who are fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the fascists running anything either. I mean, that's not any better. You know what I mean? What the fuck? All right. So she details occultism also. Is that occultism the development of all human psychic forces, which, when misused, lead to the practice of magic? And the esoteric part of all religions, or Hermeticism, and teaching the practice of occultism led to the development of what might be termed the religion of the secret, which eventually overshadowed and helped to dissimulate subversive activities. In other words, the practice and misuse of magic and esoteric philosophy led to these occult secret societies
Hmm.
so they could hide their
Okay.
activities. And she makes a great point as well about skepticism regarding this stuff, as far as like here she says, there are people who refuse to believe in the existence of the supernatural. Perhaps we should say supernormal. Even when confronted with the evidence,
Are you sharing?
such are the no, I'm just reading. No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
that like yeah, this is my notes.
Cool.
Even when confronted with the evidence, such are the skeptics who deny everything. In other words, no matter what, they just keep denying and hidebound in their prejudice, they ignore the fact that magic, white or black, has now as many adepts as ever, nor can they distinguish between the different schools of spiritism. She's just saying that people are blind to what is right in front of them. And because of that, it is proliferating more than ever.
Mm,
And that's kind of what we talk about all the time on here, as far as when we say, like, people like scoff at the idea of mind control or magic, but you yell out Somalian and they start freaking out, and you're going to tell me that's not fucking mind control. All
right.
I have to do is just say like some word and you're going to be like,
It'll
get
trigger.
him.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So that's what you would call, I mean, that's what that is.
Right.
Crazy. So there's a book that she quotes that says something very important for the context of this. It's from Le Diable by Dr. Bataille. There's a little bit of reading here, but it's worth it. It's very good.
All right.
So according to the teachings of the Christian churches, God allows demons certain limited powers, but they are not permitted to open the gates of hell and release a spirit at the request of one who evokes the dead. So you can't have this spirit like open up the gates of hell and release spirits.
Right.
But the dead, even damned, will not show themselves if evoked, nor would the vocations be answered by those who had succeeded in attaining the kingdom of heaven. But devils can and do substitute themselves for the deceased. Like when a medium says, I see your dead grandpa, he's coming here and telling me he loves you and he's proud of you, and then says something only he remembers, right?
Yeah.
That's that's probably this
Hmm.
fucking demon spirit or something that's not your grandpa.
Right.
So it is also admitted that the fallen angels or spirits will often manifest to people without being called. The theological hagiography cite many cases of diabolical apparitions to saints, apparitions which these saints have been able to repel and conquer. But what skeptics and agnostic Christians alike ignore is that besides the drawing room mediums, there are occultists whose vile practices are veiled in the profoundest mystery. These men, whose moral sense is absolutely perverted, believe in Lucifer, but they believe him to be the equal God and worship him secretly.
Mm.
So, in other words, they fuck with these fallen angels really heavy,
Yeah.
and they know how to call them in and do medium like things to bring them in and work with them. So it's not just about contacting your grandpa. They can contact these fallen spirits, these fallen angels.
Right.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
But that's what this new age philosophy is when we talk about tarot card reading or Ouija boards, of course, are huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all kind of this concept of what they're like trying to normalize in society. And I think they've done such a good job that when we talk about it, it's like, dude, you're looking too much into it. You're crazy. It's like, okay, maybe you're tripping because it's like there's something there, dude.
Yeah.
So modern occultism is on the one hand practical Kabbalah and on the other Indian yogiism, both of which have always had their adepts more or less openly. But the Kabbalah is occult science. It is the secret theology of the initiates, and the theology essentially is satanic. And in a word for the counter theology, our God, the God of the Christians, is the power of evil in the eyes of the Kabbalists. And so, therefore, for them, the power of good is the real God, Lucifer, the God of the Kabbalah.
Mm.
So, when they say that we worship the one just true God, the one true light, it sounds good. And when they do things that sound good, it makes you think these are just people. How are they wrong? But as you get deeper, you realize they say all these things that sound good and they feel that way, but it's not even about like the God we think it is.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. It's what I always thought, but like this lady wrote a fucking book about it in the 30s.
They were hip. She was hip on it back then, dude.
Bro, crazy. Crazy. So the Kabbalah teaches magic of the art of intercourse with spirits and supernatural beings. One cannot be convinced that Kabbalists without soon becoming a magician and devoting oneself to the practice of occultism. So you kind of have to do all of this stuff if you want to be into it.
Yeah.
So with this in mind, we know their philosophy rather pretty well, and we talk about it on this show all the time. So I've also talked about the Christian nationalist movement a little bit ago. So a lot of this is the occult theocracy concept hand in hand. So we'll get into this other page of the book, and I'll go ahead and all right, you can see this, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. We're gonna get down there.
We're gonna get down on here.
Get down on it. All right, hold on. 27. Oops.
Almost.
I know I went too far. All right, bet. So this explains the magic. Okay.
All right.
Because people, you say magic and people are like, huh, okay, Mickey Mouse shit, right?
Yeah. As soon as you say magic, I feel like that's a word that turns people off to some of this shit immediately.
Exactly. I mean, people don't understand what magic is. Let's look up what the magic Latin origin meaning. Let's figure it out because it's not, magic originates.
And not the card game.
Exactly. Magia, which is derived from the Greek word magia. This Greek terms itself into the linked Old Persian word magus, magica. Okay, say what the fuck the word means. Okay. The power of influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. Wow. A little bit more of a open-ended definition than you probably expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you think magic, you think cauldron, broom, whatever, right? But
Yep.
there's more to it than that. Supernatural, what does supernatural mean? You know what I mean? Let's get to the definition of the definition, right? Because does it have to be spiritual? I don't think so. Let's go here. Here we go. This is very important. Relating to an order of existence beyond the visible, observable universe. In other words, quantum reality, quantum physics, that would be considered supernatural.
Yeah.
Relating to God, demigod, spirit, or devil. Yeah, it has a colon. It says especially after, or I'm sure, but that's not all of it. But people think of that right away. Is like it's a ghost or spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It could just be something outside the observable universe. So anyway, now that we understand what the definition of magic is and supernatural, the first is divining magic, subdivided into the several branches of which the principal are. You want to read some of these? I want to see you read. You go ahead and hit some of these. These are big ones.
Apow. I'm just reading the acronym. Astrology, palmistry, anthropomancy. I'm not even gonna try that one, dude.
Anthropomant. Yeah, what is that one? Onerocritics.
Yeah, that's some. Yeah.
Onerocritics. I don't even know what that
Aeromancy,
is.
hydromancy, pyromancy,
And cartomancy.
cartomancy.
All right, so the second is operative magic, which is probably what more people have heard of as far as what it comes to magic.
Mm-hmm.
Operative magic is subdivided into several branches, of which the principles are alchemy, mesmerism, necromancy, and theurgy. Now, it's important to understand this because all of these attributes will express themselves throughout each religion, and this is kind of how they draw the relations of them as well. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So I think it's important to know like what it is. So anyway, because they say astrotheology is how you could prove the Bible is really just about the stars, So that's why this is important. I don't know. This is just kind of how I think about it. But
Yeah.
astrology, defining the future by the stars, the casting of horoscopes is its most prevalent magic. You have palmistry, which is divining the future by the hand. Anthropomancy is the practice of Supposed at present to have fallen into disuse, it is a horrible, savage abomination and consists in disemboweling a human being for the purpose of divining future of inspection of the entrails. Jesus Christ.
Good night, dude.
God, oh, fuck. Good nights, right,
Holy
dude?
shit, look at that. Medieval history accuses uh Gilles de Retz
Mhm.
of perpetrating this crime on children, whom he lured to his
Ooh.
castle for the purpose.
Ooh.
Holy fuck.
I'm not gonna say anything out loud, but everybody sees this.
Look at that.
No,
Tacitus
I didn't
says
say
that
anything
the
out loud, but I
Druids
looked.
in an ancient Britain used to consult their gods by looking into the entrails of their captives. Good Christ, dude.
Holy shit.
Dude, history is fucking metal as fuck.
Oh my god.
It.
Who's Joan of Arc? Are you seeing this?
No. I'm only
Heresy,
seeing
sodomy,
your
and
I'm seeing your
okay,
book
sorry.
right now.
Okay, sorry. Hold on here. Okay, so I just went to a different page. I'm gonna show you this because this is fucking crazy, dude. I'm just gonna, yeah, dude. That's real shit, dude.
Yeah.
People fucking get down. I mean, you look at history, bro. You think they're not trying to bring some of that shit back? You're out of your goddamn mind. All right, so Gilles de Retz, which she said is actually Gilles de Rais, or they changed it. Military leader known for his role during Hundred Years' War. He's a companion of Joan of Arc, which I'm gonna look it up, but I was like, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
Just I was just curious because that's an accusation that's been put on them a lot. Infamous for the conviction and execution of heresy, sodomy, and the murder of numerous children. Who's Joan of Arc? Because he was a companion of Joan of Arc.
Yeah, companion in arms of
Is
Joan of
this a
Arc.
fucking woman? A
Or
pious
maybe.
peasant in medieval France believed that God had chosen her to lead France to victory in its long running. What the fuck?
Isn't it like a
Was
movie?
a national heroine of France and peasant girl who claimed to receive divine guidance.
Bro, yeah, Joan of Arc is a movie, dude.
I've never seen it, dude. Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, I've heard of it.
The
She led
Messenger,
the
the
French
story of Joan of
army.
Arc.
Powerful symbol. I wonder. Okay, so revered as a martyr, national symbol of France. I'd love to know more about her. I'm sure some of our listeners probably know a little bit more details about that. I'm sure
Yeah.
she's got some kind of Jesuit or Masonic background. Very crazy.
Yeah, that is
Okay,
nuts.
so oniricrotics, divining the future through interpretations of dreams. I do that. I'm just kidding. Man, I do have this one crazy dream though that reoccurs where it feels like all the shit we talk about has came to fruition, and I'm inside of a home that's like in a neighborhood where they all look the same, and it's like a brand new house, but there's no furniture, like nobody's been in there, and I'm like hiding from like
Oh
some kind
shit.
of global. I'm like some kind of like global military. It is weird. I don't know. Everything's like gray, kind of. It's very weird.
Okay, yeah, that's weird.
Dude, I had that dream like 3 times.
What the
So
fuck?
crazy. Aromancy, divination by the and that's before I did the show. Like that was just like I kept having the dream. Like I really think that's what I truly think a lot of this shit's like going down,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I'm like, all right, maybe not all of it, but there's something.
At least some of it, yeah.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, that's what led me to want to do this shit. Cause I'm like, dude, something's up. Hydromancy, divination by the study of liquids, yada yada, divination by cards. Okay. So let's get down to the good shit. Alchemists knew the existence of microbes and toxins long before the medieval discoveries of the present age. The laboratories of satanic bacteriology have been working for a long time on cultures or solutions of their toxic properties, which, even when administered mixed with food or drink, disseminate disease and death where it is judged necessary by the masters.
Infinitesimal doses.
Tiny bit. And this is, I believe, going on now. That's
Yeah.
kind of why I wanted to point that out.
Jeez.
One of the most recent episodes on Tinfoil Hat was Dr. Brian Artis, and he went on there and talked about venom and how venom is being used in all kinds of cosmetics, medicines, Like cone snail venom's being used in fucking cosmetics. You know what I mean? Like what why?
Weird.
Like Ozempic is literally Gila monster poison. If you don't know what the Gila monster is, you've seen holes, right?
Yeah.
The lizards that they get the poison from,
Oh yeah.
that's the Gila monster.
Oh fuck, dude, not those
They
guys.
they're using that shit for Ozempic, bro. So it's like and other ones. And there's a theory that Wuhan lab, they were studying
Dude, what?
scorpion venom. Here, Wuhan lab actually, because it's worth real quick looking at. Because this is part of magic. I mean, this is the chemical side of magic right here. So Wuhan lab, uh, scorpion venom. Let's see here.
Dude.
Fuck. Oh, Science Direct. What?
Are you a robot?
Oh yeah, dude. I know getting on here is crazy. Let's see here. Okay, so enhanced immunogenicity fused to mutant scorpions for vaccine development. So I know that this is hard words to read, but in other words, this is fucking scorpion venom that they're using for vaccine development with the fucking COVID shit.
Yeah.
So they used
Yeah.
venom. They used venom in these vaccines that are killing people, not fucking mRNA.
Huh.
That's what Dr. Artis was saying. So
Okay.
anyway, I just wanted to show that. So further is magnetic mesmerism, which I think is very important with this magnetism shit because especially now they're talking about all this anti-gravity technology that they actually use magnets to force like a bubble where they could go. Does this make sense? Where you force like nuclear energy like stays and creates like a donut, like a portal
Yeah.
because you force with the magnets like it to stay in.
Mm-hmm.
Magnets can be used for a lot of shit we don't understand with like plasma and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, dude. I've been seeing all kinds of shit on like Facebook. It's just weird shit that it's like,
Yeah.
oh, did you know a magnet could do this? What the fuck?
Yeah. And plasma, which is an element that they don't talk about, plasma is a major element, and that's what's used in a lot of the anti-gravitic technology and all this otherworldly technology that they say comes from aliens.
Mm,
But really, it's magnets and plasma is what it is. And so, anyway, he further says that magnetic mesmerism is the occult medicine of Kabbalists. So Manly P. Hall talks a lot about magnetic healing, how you can heal with magnets. And so maybe that's real. So one must not confuse the scientists who are at present making research in hypnotism and suggestion in the interest of science, the emulators of Cogliostro, whose aim is to procure diversions, often wicked and immoral. Scientific magnetism is still an obscure question being studied by theologians, physiologists, and criminologists. This is in the 30s, dude. So she's got a lot of words.
yeah.
Necromancy is partly divining magic and partly operative. This practice consists in the evocations of spirits of the dead. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of necromancy. I believe that necromancy might be occurring on our country right now. Our country is dead in the water, and Trump's trying to revive it back to life by becoming the empire of the world, the new world order leader. Instead of letting ourselves fall because we're holding on and clutching to our pearls with freedom and liberty, Trump's saying, fuck that, throw that out. We're going to lead the world in the empire of this technocratic new world order.
Fuck
We
yeah.
will be the ones who decide who bends the knee.
Mm,
I guess it's better than the alternative, but at the end of the day, you still end up in the same place.
yeah. Go right
So
or left, either way.
no matter what, you
I'll
end up
end
in the
up
same
one
spot,
way. Yeah.
Not even right or left, it's like I guess the alternative is that another country takes over the new world order empire, like a China, right?
Mm,
And instead, Trump's like, no, no, no. We're gonna fucking make the technate that they talked about. We'll build this technocratic state and we will lead the world in it. And I just think that it sucks because no matter what, you end up in a police state.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm saying. So there's always the same. It talks about diabolical writings. So this is kind of like automatic writing where you use an entity. The very sight of some of these writings induce a state of convulsions or ecstasy in the mediums who believe themselves to be seeing spirits. Thus, Satan, the spirit of evil, is transfigured for them into an angel of light. Now, notice this. I mentioned this for a reason. A lot of people talk about how they saw Jesus or whatever and they were terrified in a near death experience or whatever. And next thing they know, it turned into like a spirit of light or an angel. I think it's funny because that's how they describe what Satan does with these people.
Yeah.
So these so-called spirits require sympathetic excitement produced by sexual intercourse on the part of their devotees. This is why they do a lot of those sex parties, freak offs, maybe. But it's definitely what the eyes wide shut shit was about for sure.
Yeah.
So hands must be placed in hands, feet on feet, and they must breathe in each other's faces. These acts often being followed by others of an obscene nature. The initiates revealing in these forms of excessive belief themselves to be the elect of God and arbiters of destiny. So these guys just think we're so fucking fire, dude. We're gonna all fuck each other in the nastiest way. It's gonna be wild. And like Nixon when he
Disgusting.
yeah, like Nixon, whenever Nixon talked about like the Bohemian Grove or whatever, he's like, that's the faggiest thing you ever seen or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like, dude, that's what he means. He's like, I didn't know it was all this. Oh, that's fucking funny. So theurgy is another of the highest degrees of occultism. Necromancy is limited to the summoning of dead souls, but the theurgists of the 19th centuries evoke entities qualified as genii or genies, angels of light, and exalted spirits. So these are like Solomon, King Solomon.
Mm,
He had a ring and he commanded all these entities or demons to build him a temple.
yeah.
So that's what they're talking about here. So throughout the world, they worship Lucifer, the three letters J, B, and M, which you will see on Freemasonic temples. Common initiates see in the Masonic temples are produced in the meetings rooms of the Luciferians, but they no longer, Jesus Christ. She talks like a fucking wild person. They no longer mean Jaquin,
Yeah.
Boaz, and Mahabon. Now it means Jacques, Bourgogne, Non, and Malay, because it's Jacques B. Malay,
Yeah, yeah.
who was a Knights Templar that was killed on Friday the 13th, and all that good stuff we talked about on here before. Moreover, it is important to note that the Kabbalists admitted to the mysteries of theurgy never mention the word Satan. They look upon certain dissident adepts who invoke the devil under the name Satan as heretics, whose system they call Godi or black magic. Because they're saying if you worship Satan, then you're not really worshiping. Like they're like, yo, Satan is the real God. So we don't call him Satan, we call him God.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So, which is really crazy.
Hmm.
All right. All right. So let me get back
Jeez.
to my notes. Deep shit, but
It
this
is
shit's
deep
about
shit.
it's fucking real shit, dude. So I've heard this story so many times of people being terrified that yeah, we just talked about this where they're terrified they see an angel after it was a demon and then it turns into an angel. So necromancy and theurgy is always disastrous. When one has once stood on the threshold of the other world, one must die and almost invariably under terrible conditions.
Damn.
First got yeah, dude. And so this is why whenever we talk about like the initiation rituals that happen in Freemasonry, they always like go through a cave, they crawl on their belly, like you have to do if you're going to hell, and they go through shit that makes them feel like they're on the brink of death
Yeah.
because it conditions their mind for when they do go to that threshold of this world and that one to be able to handle the horrors that are gonna attack them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just a mental, spiritual thing.
Yeah.
So it says first giddiness, then catalepsy, followed by madness. It is true that the atmosphere is disturbed and woodwork cracks and doors tremble and groan in the presence of certain people or persons after a series of intoxicating acts. Weird sounds, sometimes bloody signs, will appear spontaneously on paper or linen. These are things that these people say that they experienced. I mean, I thought that was worth, like, putting down. I was like, "What the fuck?" They're always the same and are classed by magicians as diabolical writings. The very sight of them, like I said earlier, induces the state of convulsions or ecstasy. So sometimes these writings, not even automatic writings like I mentioned earlier, but there's some of these that'll just show up in the room.
Yeah.
Like, kinda like in a movie where you'll see, like, on the back of the on the window or on the mirror, they'll see the fucking shit start writing on the shower window
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, and it'll be blood or whatever, like that type of shit. So
Some weird
that's what this is referencing.
Okay.
That's fucking crazy. So, alright, we went through this, 41 through 43, that's the page. Alright, let me get there.
Page 41 and 43, we're going back.
Back to the deal, baby. Hey, dude, we're
Shit.
not even getting, like, a quarter of the way through this book. You know what I mean? Like, we're just fucking cracking the surface a little bit
Mhm.
open on it. Like, we're not doing nothing crazy. Okay, so 41 here, where we at? How many people know that hypnotism is about all there is to initiation? This is important. This is why I kept this. Hypnotism and fear. The rest is camouflage. In the event of this statement being undoubted, we quote Freemasonry Universal, an article which needs no further comment.
Okay.
The stewards prepare the candidate, the Tyler first, and afterwards, in turn, the IG, deacons, and junior wardens should inspect the candidate to see that everything is strictly correct. The preparation symbolizes poverty, blindness, and poverty of spirit. But it may also signify purification, that the riches and pleasures which bind one to the material side of life are discarded and the spirit blinded to their attractions. So the bearing of the right arm, the left breast, there you got it. Okay, apparently a reference to the awakening of occult centers in one's being, which only one become active when purification of the whole nature has begun.
Mm.
The very specific character of the preparation points to real knowledge of the occult physiology of the process of initiation on the part of those who originated the method, which has been so faithfully preserved. Certain forces, this part's important, finally. Certain forces are sent through the candidate's body during the ceremony, especially at the moment when he is created, received and constituted, and entered apprentice Freemason.
Damn.
Certain parts of the lodge have been very heavily charged with magnetic force, especially in order that the candidate may absorb as much as possible of this force. They're getting gay, bro.
That he may
Absorb the
absorb as much
force.
possible of this force, dude.
Jesus
What kind
Christ.
of force, cuh?
All right. Pause. So the first object of this curious method of preparation is to expose to this influence of the various parts of the body, which are especially used in the ceremony. In ancient Egypt, there was always another reason for these preparations for weak current or physically electricity. So they would use these flows of current, stuff like vibrations to fuck with the candidates.
By means of rod or sword.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
No
You want
more
the rod or the sword?
more gay wordage, dude.
Yeah. Jesus. So we would here observe that the miracles performed by Jesus Christ bore a distinctive feature. Because no, this is important too. So the rightful worshipful master must be a genuine occultist, as it is up to him to charge or hypnotize the candidate. For to give this, in the words of Freemasonry Universal, gives the light the pure white light of truth and illumination. Illumination, aka the Kundalini, or serpent power, or electromagnetic force, or sex force, is what they're uh like fucking with, messing with, manipulating. however you want to say.
Or messing with the sex force, dude. What the
Yes, it's all
fuck?
the same. It's all the same force. So that's the thing. Like, use the force, Obi-Wan. Like that shit. It's the same thing, dude.
Oh, they can
So you,
definitely use the force for some shit.
yeah, and that's why they say manifestation all goes into this shit too.
They just don't show that in the movies.
No. So even in our Western world, anyone wishing to study yoga can learn to neutralize the action of gravity and go some yards up in the air. So check this out. This is a good analogy. This stunt and assumption for any size at will are tricks for which training is essential. And if one works hard enough, one will eventually be able to mesmerize people for one's own business, political, or otherwise, whatever. So think about any person who can do some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the streamers that, like that one dude, I'm Speed or whatever the fuck his name is, that fucking just like raced a leopard or whatever the fuck, or
What
cheetah
the
or
fuck,
whatever.
dude? He raced a leopard?
He raced a cheater. He
Dude,
raced
you
a,
just hard hard a cheetah.
yeah, dude.
Fucking cheater.
Oh, fuck, that's funny.
I didn't even know you could do a hard R on a cheetah. You just did, bro.
That's awesome. Alright. Yeah, dude, that cheater, bro, he fucking he, uh, he about kept up with it, though, it was crazy, but
Fuck,
anyway,
dude.
so it's just kind of expressing that anybody could become somebody that's like, "Whoa, that person's amazing," right? And what it's pointing out here is that anybody can kind of perform things that look like miracles. But what we should observe, though, is that miracles performed by Jesus Christ bore a distinctive feature,
Mm,
overlooked usually, but everything was about charity. They were a symbol of charity. He was giving, he was silent, and he was yeah, silent whenever he was taunted on the cross. He saved
mm,
others himself, he cannot save. So it's this idea of the humility aspect that these people that practice this magic, we'll call it, don't have any godly aspects to them because of the selfishness to it.
yeah.
Pretty good, pretty good. Gnostic miracles, that's kind of what it was leading into. And this is why I was thinking of that. So like whenever you read what's that book called? The Golden Dawn. Whenever you read The Golden Dawn, which is a Gnostic Bible,
Mm-hmm.
essentially, it talks about how the Gnostics, the early Gnostics, they used to perform miracles like Jesus Christ did, and that one can do the same that Jesus did if you perfect yourself, right?
Okay.
And so she's kind of arguing that that's bullshit. It says here Gnostic miracles, such as that of being buried alive for a period of time, which constitutes the Hindu religious rites of samadhi, have no ulterior charitable purpose. They are chiefly performed for the object of creating wonderment, kind of like Chris Angel or like some magician,
Yeah.
curiosity or faith in magic, and as such, failing the altruistic motive. So this is classifiable under the general term of black magic. So damn, dude, she just called out the motherfucking Hindus for being satanic.
Yeah, dude.
Damn,
The heavy words, dude.
that's heavy. So, though where such a custom prevails, the magical performers themselves are not privileged to withhold their gains. Okay. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so that's most of it right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot fucking more. So let's go to the KKK though, because I'm curious. What does she have to say about the
Yeah,
KKK?
dude. I'm
We need to find out.
probably look up Ku Klux.
Cool. I mean, come on.
Isn't it Ku Klux?
Is it Clue? I'm not finding it. Here, I'll go back up to the. Let's see here. What the fuck? Okay. Knights of Malta, Knights
Mm,
Templar.
look up the protocols of Elders of Zion, because that's what it was referring to when it talked about the KKK shit.
All right.
I lost that summary I closed out of that page, so I don't have that exact AI overview again. But it did say something about this conspiracies like the protocols of the Elders of Zion.
Oh yeah, that's in here. Do you want to look at that as well?
Well, that's what it was referring to when it was talking about the KKK
Oh
the
wait,
first
here we go.
time.
The Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, there you go.
497.
Oh, it is
497.
Ku Klux. I'm
Yeah, what the
retarded as
fuck?
hell.
No, but I mean, fucking put the right thing in too. 497. Damn, dude, this is a fat ass book.
It is a
She was
fat
just
ass
saying a lot
fucking
of
book, dude.
she's just saying a lot of shit about the Jews up there. I
Just a
felt
bunch
like we
of
should look.
hoopla,
I know, it's like there's probably so much shit in here worth seeing though, I bet. Like
probably. Damn,
497. Where
almost
we at
there.
here?
Almost there.
Yeah. I was
Fuck,
looking at
dude.
this too.
Not
Look at
quite.
this. Modern spiritism called spiritualism.
Yeah.
Um, elaborate system connection by rafts and events. I'm just trying to see. Uh, yeah, seances, the universal. So it's just this. Yeah, okay. So she gets deep into this whole these seance, all this shit. It's just
Mm-hmm.
satanic. Okay, so I see what's going on. Okay, okay. Jesus. Wait, what is this?
Almost there.
Israelite Universal Alliance. What? The chief aim of the Alliance Israelite Universal was political and was clearly expressed in the report circulated after its foundation. All important faiths are represented in the world by nations. That is to say, they are incarnated in governments, especially interested in them and officially authorized to represent them and speak for them only. Our faith alone is without this important advantage. It is represented neither by a state or society, nor does it occupy, but it does now. It
Yeah.
fucking
Read that next little paragraph.
The Alliance Israelite Universal therefore was destined to be the governmental representative of all Jews from whatever country they lived in under the authority of their secret kahal or community rule. So they were going to rule in secret across the world under this.
Mm.
But I think they've made it so far that they're doing it out in the open.
Yeah, they're out loud now.
I mean, she wasn't wrong if you look around now. It is noteworthy that the prophet of Zionism was a member of the Alliance. I mean, Jewish World Agency functioning today. I mean, that is real. That is real. Okay, so 197. Oh, I'm funny sometimes. Okay, so
There it
Ku
is.
Klux Klan was the name of the American secret association formed by the whites of the southern states of self-protection after the Civil War. It was started at 1865 Pulaski, Tennessee as a club for young men. It absorbed under other societies of similar aims, such as the Knights of White Camellia, the White Brotherhood, the Pale Faces.
Jesus.
Apart from the protection of whites, one of its chief aims was opposition to a government based on Negro suffrage, such as the North wanted to impose on the South. Huh? The Klan denominated the entire South as the invisible empire under the rule of a grand wizard. Each state was a realm under a grand dragon, each county a province under a grand giant. Jesus.
What the fuck were they smoking at these
Yeah, these
meetings?
people, how does she not see that this is the same worship of the fucking dragon, giant, and wizard? This is all the same shit. This is some fucking Lord of the Rings, Palantir shit.
What the fuck?
So the avowed principles were the maintenance of the peace and order and the laws of God, of the political and social supremacy of the white race, and also the prevention of the intermingling of the races. It showed strenuous opposition to the scalawags and carpetbaggers, as they called the northern whites, who incited the Negroes to commit all kinds of depredations against the whites of the South. Ah, but this is really happening today, if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Very weird that this was something that people didn't want to happen. They were labeled as fucked up and crazy, and now it is happening.
and then it was revived in 1915. That's all it has to say about it. It's just like it was just pretty much like a history thing.
I know. And yeah, I mean, she's kind of just pointing out like,
But that's weird.
oh, but
That's
when it was
fucking
but I'm sorry, when it was revived in 1915, it was revived by the fucking the Dixie Party left Jew Bolshevik motherfuckers that pretty much took control of. Okay, so then they rebranded it like they do everything else. Okay, that's fucked up.
interesting.
That's how it goes. They
Dude,
rebrand shit.
fucking bragging and shit.
So let's put this together. So the KKK at first was an organization that was against everything being created now. It disbanded, and now everything being created now is being done after discrediting the KKK. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy. But then also after turning it into like something different too. They do that shit all the time. God, they do that shit with so many things. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Like old evangelical Christians, they were warning us about the Antichrist and the beast system and all this stuff. And they
Yeah.
turned them into fucking fools. And now look, they were all right.
Yep. Them.
That's wild, man. Oh, okay. So this is a Zionist world order that they're trying to create. We've already established that. I don't need to get into any too. I mean, we could look at the 1,000. Let's look at this. 1,000 pastors in Israel. We should do some context before I pull this out. Okay, in Israel, 2025. So in 2025, at the end of 2025, 1,000 pastors went and visited Israel. And now in this book, The Dark Majesty, I've referenced a few times. It's called The 1,000 Points of Light, and that's a reference to the skull and bones, right? So there's a weird direct correlation, in my opinion, with this 1,000 pastors and 1,000 points of light. I don't think they chose 1,000 for no reason, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And so we have pastors like this, John Hagee, fucking piece of shit. Who did, I mean, they use God's word to sit here and fucking tell you that Israel deserves to go commit genocide and murder everybody and steal land because it's theirs.
Yeah. Get the fuck
And
out of here.
they're literalizing something like Jerusalem, the land of like God, was never meant to be on earth. I mean, Jesus is said to like rule earth after Armageddon and he
Yeah.
destroys the devil. But that's not Jerusalem. That's totally different.
The JC, the Jewish Chronicle.
Yay, JC, baby. We're going to steal that fucking
Oh
acronym.
man.
Fucking God, they're fucking terrible on another level, man. So the delegation, which was brought together by the Friends of Zion Initiative in collaboration with the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, touched down in Israel on Tuesday. It embarked on an ambitious itinerary which included meetings with President Isaac Herzog. The group have visited the sites of Hamas October 17th massacre at the Supernova Festival, accompanied by former hostages. Great, so they can be, hit with atrocity propaganda from hostages that
Mm-hmm.
probably are fake. Dr. Mike Evans, who founded the Friends of Zion Heritage Center in Jerusalem, is a confidant of President Donald Trump and has known Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for 45 years. Jesus. So
Right.
2,000 pastors applied for the trip, and they chose 1,000. So again, it wasn't for no reason.
Yeah, they chose best. They chose the best suited for this trip.
Mhm. Yeah, the people with the most numbers. We're seeking to unify and demonstrate the unity between evangelical Christian leaders in America, Israel, and Jewish people, and to counter any perception that this community is divided on the issue because it is not. That's a fucking lie. Anyways, Jews, all Jews are not down with Israel. Okay? So that is a flat out fucking lie.
Mm.
Because this is what they just said here. Christian leaders, Israel, evangelical Christian leaders, Israel, and Jewish people, to counter any perception that this community is divided, because it is not. Okay. Yeah, but where's Jesus right now? He's, like, burning in feces in the Talmud? Shut the fuck up. That's some
Well,
crazy shit. So, geofencing campaign as well, has been done, for evangelical or Christians. So they're targeting people's phones. If you're, like, in a church, then you're gonna receive ads because they spent $4 million to essentially send you push notifications about Israel
wow.
if you're inside of, because you go to church, you know what I mean? So, like, you know how they make ads that are tailored to you,
Yeah.
but this is something that they're doing to bolster
Yeah.
support among what Christians in the West. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about here. They're trying to get the evangelicals on board. Well, they are always have been on board, but they're trying to make sure that they don't lose people because they're doing fucked up things and they
Yeah.
aren't going to stop anytime soon. We don't believe they're not going to stop anytime soon. We can look at this. Just to just to round all this out, let's just round all this out. $8.6 billion Boeing contract for F-15 jets for Israel.
Sick.
We'll be paying for that. We've already went over how they get subsidized. So that's cool. So anyway, just wanted to kind of lay some context to what I'm about to get into here. I feel like that really does a decent job. So I have an itinerary for a brochure for a church.
Okay.
I'm going to read it to you. It says this: Experience the Holy Land. Uh, all right, so they're going to be traveling there from October 21st through the 31st. Departures are $5,000 from Miami. So that's
Jeez.
awesome. So you're gonna pay $5,000. Early bird savings, initial deposit of $500. I mean, they're busting heads, dude. Busting
Yeah, they're
heads.
getting these motherfuckers.
So then I'm like, okay, let's look at the itinerary. What do they plan on doing while they're there in the Holy Land in Israel? So on Wednesday they're gonna get there. It's gonna be a long day, So they're gonna just go kind of relax when they get there in
Yeah.
Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv, the gay capital of the world. These Christians are going to go there. They're going to proceed through customs and security and meet their own agent who assists them to a deluxe motor coach, and then they will drive through Tel Aviv and Haifa and arrive at their hotel in Netanya in time for dinner and overnight. So on Friday, they're going to go to Mount Carmel, Megiddo, and Nazareth. They're going to depart for the Valley of Jezreel to visit biblical sites. They're going to go. Oh, shit. Now look at this. This is important. This is why I'm talking about this. They're going to drive up to Mount Carmel to see where Elijah confronted the prophets of Baal. Then head over to Megiddo to see King Solomon's fortress. King Solomon's fortress, the one that was built by his ring and demons. He's clearly Freemason.
Yeah.
As they leave to cross the Valley of Jezreel, they'll talk about Armageddon.
Talk
Just
about
casually.
Armageddon.
We're gonna listen as we kind of cross the Valley of Jezreel. I think we're gonna just kind of have a conversation
Yeah,
about
it's
Armageddon.
it's a good time to talk about it. Fuck yeah.
And then once we get to Nazareth, I'm thinking that maybe we'll get to see the well where it is believed that the angel Gabriel met Mary. And they'll also look over the Valley of Nazareth and overlook the scenes of famous battles from the times of the judges. And then they'll arrive to the hotel at the Sea of Galilee for dinner. Nothing compares to watching the sunrise over the Sea of Galilee. After the sun rises, they said this twice, we'll take a boat ride on the Sea of Galilee. Avoiding the stormy weather in the evenings that we read about in Scripture, we then visit the recently discovered first century boat. Magdala, the home of Mary Magdalene, is our next stop. They're going to cross Jordan, the river, birthplace of three of Jesus's disciples. But I just think this is great. They're going to go kiss the wall. I'm trying to find if they
That's
go to the wall.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I bet you they go to the wall at the end. They gotta go to the wall at the end. There we'll celebrate the Holy Communion during our closing worship after farewell dinner. Then go to the airport. Okay. Citadel, imagining what it would have been like for Jesus to be put on trial there before Pilate. All right. So yeah, they're gonna go over to Israel and they're gonna get indoctrinated with the fact that Israel is that's the place Jesus is gonna come back to, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so watch out, Jesus is coming back to Israel, but everybody knows about them.
Dude,
Their Messiah is not fucking Jesus.
maybe it'll happen when they're there. That's why they spend that much money.
That'd be crazy, bro. Yeah. Hey man, you want to witness Armageddon? It's gonna be 5 big ones. 5 big ones.
You
Dude,
can
that's
afford it,
fucking
right?
wild, bro. Huh? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's wild, dude. Yep. So the occult theocracy is being built, it's being born, it's being created. The next step of it, I believe, is going to be this alien aspect to it, where they try to say, like, we're aliens on this earth, we don't belong here. That's because we were mixed with DNA of aliens. We were
Yeah.
put here by aliens. The age of disclosure might play a big role in this and kind of bringing it all together. It's saying this is the real story of the Bible. It's just aliens. Once they get the technology to a place where they can really fake it, because then the fallen can interact with us through tech that we have that makes it where they can interact with us, and then they can convince us and manipulate us that way,
Right.
and then we'll believe it after that. So yeah, that's something to look out for. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Occult theocracy. It's coming. I think we'll be getting into Dark Majesty, a little bit of that shit later. I've got Operation Mind Control book I got to break down. We're gonna get into that. What else we got going on? We got some other shit brewing up. Let's
Fuck yeah,
see
we
here.
do.
Stranger Things and Monroe Institute, Robert Monroe, out of body experiences, synthetic eternity, the connection between all of them. I'm gonna be breaking that down on Outside Minds tomorrow.
I don't know
So
if you saw, but like the last episode of Stranger Things where Hopper he's talking about like moving because they need a new chief of
mm.
police. You remember the city
He
there?
goes to yeah, he's going to Montauk.
Yeah, man.
I know, dude. There's so many. You know what though? I'm gonna talk about this with you while we're on here because yeah, I'll be talking about this tomorrow with Outside Minds. Check that out. It'll be on their shit probably like Wednesday next week or something. But
Mhm.
before then, whatever. Who cares? I got a lot of notes for that. You want to hear some shit?
Hit it.
Stranger Things. I'm gonna hit it, dude. You just said hit it. Watch how quick I hit it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit it like this. T-shirt symbology. Here, I'm gonna start off with that.
Okay.
ET. You got ET, dude. ET was on there. Hellfire. Hellfire. Every,
Mhm.
the Hellfire shirts, dude. That's Hellfire. Benjamin Franklin was a part of the Hellfire Club. Remember they would go in the fucking caves and do gay shit?
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
whoa,
I
yeah,
remember that
remember?
shit.
Dude. And so I'm like, oh fuck.
Fuck.
And then 12 kids, 12 kids, very important with the whole idea of 12 tribes, 12 chosen
Mhm.
ones. Representative of that. You see the same thing in Pluribus.
He got 10 kids
Vecna.
in the show though, didn't he?
He had 12, I think they were in that house that he brought in his mind. Whenever he had the fucking the shit was like sucking on their face
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. There was a deity that entered through him.
Oh, okay. He did take 12. Sorry, I thought it was 10.
Yes.
Shit.
Yes. And check this out though. So Vecna is a weirder dark magic with a disgust for mortal man, right? Becoming essentially a god whenever El sent him to that place, right?
Yeah.
And there was a deity that entered into him whenever he was a kid through that rock. And it reminds me a lot of Vulcan. And Vulcan, which we could get into, but we won't right now. But it's like the god of metal, blacksmith, whatever. It's like a Satan.
Mhm.
Saturn. It's Saturn, which is important because El. What is El's name?
Yeah.
El, Saturn, Elohim. Whenever you look at Israel, El is the one for Saturn.
Hmm.
And so I think it's funny that that's her name essentially is Saturn.
Right.
Light and dark, kind of like the new Star Wars, a little bit of both. Will I am God, I am will is God, right?
Yeah.
Like if you will something, like God's will be done.
Right.
That's probably why they gave him the name William. This hive mind virus, MK Ultra, the whole deal with the vessels for reshaping the world. That's kind of like this whole new man, new age shit. Uh, you also had Alice in Wonderland was in the background. Red Riding Hood, a lot of symbology with that. I've got a whole breakdown on Red Riding Hood that I could do, but checkered floors everywhere.
Yeah.
Red Kali, who's like the vessel or the destroyer,
Mm.
creator in Hindu gods. Monsters Inc. They step into a door, but there's nothing on the other side, just like in Monsters Inc. And then they go scare somebody on the other side. Like that's straight same fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
There was shadow work going on through her dreams, where these dark traumas that she had to face, that one girl,
Mhm.
to kind of like be able to get out of her trapped mind. She was trapped in her mind, and the only way to get out was to go face her traumas.
Right.
A lot of shadow Jungian shadow work. Vecna is like Israel, posing as a savior to the children, projecting evil onto Max.
Okay.
Dude, I fucking wrote that. I thought that was so funny. At the time, I thought that was funny. He's like, "No, Max is the bad one." When in reality, he just like got them. Right now, they're like in the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah. In
they have no
reality, yeah.
idea. Yeah, so I just thought that was fucking hilarious.
He's
But
like, she's the
anyway,
monster.
yeah, and yeah, the exotic matter shit was very intriguing because that reminds me of the shit we talked. But anyway, scientists is like an analogy for real life. Think about the science teacher. The science teacher was helping them get into the upside down and navigate the upside down and
Mhm.
communicate through the upside down without knowing he was helping them. And then in the last episode, he realized, oh, I've been like adjacent to this whole thing this whole
Yeah.
time. Like it reminds me of a it's an analogy for a scientist doing quantum experiments. And then by the fifth season, he actually uncovers his work.
Hmm.
Isn't that fucking interesting?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what
that
they
is
did that
wild.
they did that with that science guy, it seemed
Mhm.
like. Oh my god, dude, I really fucking broke it down. So then you got also St. Louis, Missouri Six Flags sticker on the fridge in the episode. And
What?
I'm like, "Whoa, why is that there?" I'm like, "Is there gonna be like a false flag there or something?" But you know what I thought about? Eureka, Missouri, that's where all that nuclear waste was dumped.
Mhm.
Dude, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Bro, duh, nuclear technology, quantum.
Mhm.
That's what we're talking about." Or there could be a false flag coming there, who knows? And then, of course, this wraps into what we're talking about right now. Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, that's the movie they go see at the end, remember? That movie is all about the fucking Nazis going to the caves, trying to retrieve the artifacts,
Yeah.
and it's called The Last Crusade. Right now, we have a new generation of skull and bones Nazi Catholic knights, like how Hitler was.
Mhm.
We're bringing in this new last crusade to bring in this new world order. Christians against the Muslims to bring in this Judeo-Christian new world order,
Yeah.
right? So they're gonna use the Muslims and Christians to slaughter each other, and whoever's left has to be a fucking staunch Zionist, fucking a part of this new world order. That's really what I think they're shooting for.
Mm.
And so I think that symbology there was important.
Yeah.
Little quick one, I hit it. You know what I mean? Nothing
Hell yeah.
crazy. There's a lot more actually, but it's all good. That's most of it.
Keep
But the
an eye
Last
out for
Crusade
the
thing,
Outside Minds podcast to hear more.
yeah, definitely do. Because that Last Crusade thing's probably the most important part because that's everything we're talking about in this episode.
Yeah.
And Ryan Gable, he came on here and I went on his show recently. And he talks a lot about how that's what they're doing. They're creating a crusade. That's why the Somalian thing and Mamdani and this whole hate for Muslims and this rise in Christianity,
Yeah.
it's being done at the same time on purpose to create this head. So everything comes to a head and a big problem happens.
Yep.
Speaking of that, you think that's going to happen from ICE or what, man?
I don't know, dude. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that.
This shit is, so you weren't here for the American imperialism episode. I believe that they took Venezuela because World War III is coming and they want Venezuela, Cuba, and Greenland because these are three countries that other countries could act as a proxy from.
Mhm.
And so we need to secure those land masses before we enact any major war scenario.
I see.
And so
Yeah.
I really think everybody's pointing to oil and banks and this and that. But I'm like, yo, he's talking about Greenland and Cuba instantly after he did that to Venezuela. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I think he's securing land. Then he goes and takes a Russian oil tanker the next day. Come on, that's definitely what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's got a Make Iran Great Again hat with fucking Lindsey Graham, the
Oh
Warhawk
boy.
faggot from Tennessee or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's never seen a war that didn't get his dick hard. You know what I'm saying? He's never seen a war that didn't get that. That dude is the fucking anyway. So the fact Trump's hanging out with him and all this is occurring, I think it's very telling
Yeah.
what's coming.
Sure.
We got our hand on the pulse here, Justin. That's what I think.
Hell yeah.
Somebody commented on Spotify and said that. Did you see
Well,
that?
we got our hand on the pulse.
I thought that was fucking great. I'm like, damn right I do. Because I sat back and looked at the Venezuela thing and was like, okay, what is this really about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's just assume they don't have as much oil because we know the oil is not going to bring us money anytime soon yet. It's not about the banks only. Like, there's got to be something else. And I'm like, it's got to be this land mass securing for war.
Yeah.
Here, let's show you. Okay. I think he said it's all right, man, right here because I said the audio sucked for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, never listen. I will, though, because it sounds like you have your hand on the pulse. Hell yeah. Thanks,
Fuck yeah,
bro.
dude.
Jenny Manriquez, right on. Killer episode. You guys have a unique gift. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, dude, we fucking been getting a little love. Getting a little love.
Hell yeah.
This dude had the same black figure show up in his room like I did. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Mm.
So yeah, thanks for all the love, everybody. Hang out on Patreon, we got it for the low. We're gonna be getting the store vamped up. Get some hats and some fucking shirts and some shit going. I promise, I'm gonna get it going. Costs money, you gotta spend money to get you guys this awesome stuff that you could
Mm-hmm.
have the availability to get. So
Be some cool shit. It'll be worth the wait.
it will. So fuck yeah. It's been another crazy Patreon episode, a little deep dive on theocracy, the occult version.
Fuck yeah.
And we will be back on Monday, this is probably coming out Wednesday. So we'll be back on Friday. So we'll see you then.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, Justin, we'll sign us out.
Fucking deuces.
Peace.